I can only bask in the triumph for so long, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I could probably bask a little longer, but that's fine. We'll move on.
Let's move on.
Move on from the basking. We've been talking about, folks are aware that there was a shooting in Minneapolis, sparked some, I guess we'll call them riots.
Yeah, well, let's call them riots.
Let's call them riots and things overnight. And the veteran ex-cop who accidentally, quote unquote, Duante Wright on Sunday when he tried to flee during a traffic stop could be charged under Minnesota law, legal experts say. This person has been revealed to be Kimberly Potter, age 48, a 25-year veteran.
Yep.
You said ex-cop.
Did I say
she was
ex-cop?
No, she's cop.
She's a cop
She's
still?
cop.
Cop still.
Cop still.
Okay.
Presumably, no, this article actually says the veteran ex-cop who accidentally shot. So I think they're making an assumption that the cop will be fired or...
Yeah, that's weird.
whatever.
I don't think that... I haven't heard anything about her being fired, but maybe so.
This is from the NewYorkPost.com, so not the highest quality of writers. It's entirely possible for them to have, missed an edit.
A lot of times these articles are going to say ex-cop or former cop. They don't ever want to say active duty cop. They want to say ex-cop.
What's her
name?
Kimberly Potter, age 48. Let's see. Manhattan-based civil rights lawyer Ron Kuby said Kimberly Potter, age 48, could face a second-degree manslaughter rap. And yes, I'm mispronouncing that appropriately because if it were you or I, there would be no manslaughter rap. We would be straight up facing murder.
It would depend on the scenario, but that's not entirely inaccurate.
Could face second-degree manslaughter rap for fatally shooting the 20-year-old black man after drawing her handgun instead of her taser in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, otherwise known as Minneapolis. There's some people who live in Brooklyn Center like, oh, I don't live in Minneapolis. I live in Brooklyn Center. No, you live in Minneapolis.
Have you been there?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Just like a small block out area.
It's a neighborhood.
Does it have its own mayor?
I don't think so.
Okay, then it's Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's just like a neighborhood, an area of the larger city itself. So, mistaking your taser, which is lighter colored, different, and on another hip, with your handgun, which is black, heavy, and on your other hip, and causing somebody's death is second-degree manslaughter, or at least can be prosecuted as such, Kuby told the Post. So,
and what's Kuby? Who's Kuby?
Kuby is...
I was looking at stuff online.
Ron Kuby. He's a Manhattan-based civil rights lawyer.
I see.
Ron Kuby. So,
Go
ahead.
can tell you that the Federal Bureau of Investigations doesn't give a darn about what lawyers think because the Crypto 6 had a couple of lawyers' opinions on piece of paper that said that we weren't money transmitting. And in fact... They decided that they were.
And yet our hosts remain kidnapped. We could talk more about this bit from Brooklyn Center, a.k.a. Minneapolis, Minnesota. But first, let's go to Turd Ferguson, who's calling from his hot tub. Turd, you're on Free Talk Live. Let's try this again.
We got to push the red one for on air.
Yeah.
People.
Hey, is that Turd?
Yeah, did you buzz me in there? Yeah, I think you did buzz me in there. Okay.
Yep,
right.
we got you now, so go ahead and start over.
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. Captain, that was a great transition into bringing me in because there seems to be a lot of incompetent people in government these days. And the case that you're discussing, of course, is partially at least sheer incompetence of a police officer. One thing that you won't hear on the mainstream media, but I will say on Free Talk Live, is that I just happen to notice a lot of these most egregious cases. For instance, the one where the woman went into the wrong apartment and shot the young man.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because they all seem to be carried out by women police officers. Just something I've noticed.
So what conclusion are you drawing from that?
Yeah, what are you trying to say, Turd?
Well, I just don't know if they seem to be able to conduct themselves in stressful situations the same way that a man might be able to. I'm not trying to be...
When a man shoots somebody, should we keep them from being cops too? Then we can stop all women and all men from being cops.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying the most egregious ones. I mean,
I don't know. It sounds to me like you put a couple of things together and have decided that that's meaningful.
I would say that I've encountered many cops, and I found that women generally are nicer. They're more professional. I'm not saying that's how they react in the situation. However, I find that the men have more testosterone.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I got pulled over for a headlight out here in, Little Keene, New Hampshire, and I drove a couple extra blocks to a nice, well-lit parking area before I actually pulled over, and the lady cop was none too happy about it. She was all, look, how come you pulled over, or how come you drove so far before you pulled over? And I'm like, safety. And she goes, well, next time you pull over right away, I'll be the one who decides whether or not it's safe for you to pull over.
No, ma'am, that's not what they say. They say that if you don't feel safe to to keep going at a reasonable speed, these cops and their whole it's time for you to pull over when I say you pull over. No, ma'am, that's not how this works.
I think the common denominator between all police officers is low IQ.
Well, I don't know that it necessarily is, but some departments it certainly is.
That might be true, but listen, there is another incompetent woman in government here in Shrewsbury, and that's the Judge Lindy Sweeney here in Shrewsbury today, that totally sided with the cop in my court case, totally worked for him the whole time.
What was your court case?
Was absolutely. I'm sorry.
What's your court case?
Recap your court case for Mark, please.
It was a traffic court case for a suspended vehicle registration.
Yep, that's
and
what they do.
And by the way, at the beginning of this trial, they told me that beyond a reasonable doubt is what they have to prove. And if there is a reasonable doubt, and I asked this, I was like, well, hold on a second. So that means if I can prove reasonable doubt here,
but there'll be no jury.
Then you have to give me the benefit of the doubt. And then she was like, well, no, not exactly. So already she started moving the window. You know what I mean? As soon as it started. So right away, I knew
she's not going to find you not guilty. It's traffic violation. Never.
Right. Exactly. But I certainly proved, in my opinion, with documentation and testimony, my case today that it was wrongfully suspended. It was certainly enough to raise reasonable doubt in any human being's mind, and the judge sided with the cop anyway.
As they do.
Yep. Hey, thanks for the call, Turd.
I don't know if folks know, but ladies and gentlemen, there's a collusion between the executive and the judicial branch.
I just have to do this.
What's that?
Well, his name is Turd.
Oh, I see.
And I know that when you press the dump button, it plays a toilet flush. I just figured it was appropriate. 603-283-6160 is the number if you'd like to join us. More Free Talk Live is on the way.
Carl Watner, longtime proponent of a voluntary society, died last December. You may have seen his articles published on his website, voluntarist.com, in his newsletter, The Voluntarist, the Mises Institute, or elsewhere over the last 40 years. His newest book, I Must Speak Out, Volume 2, The Best of the Voluntarist, is now available via Liberty Under Attack Publications. This 430-page second volume spans the years of 2000 through 2020 and includes articles by Carl Watner, Hans Hermann Hoppe, Carl Hess, Benjamin Tucker, George H. Smith, Lysander Spooner, Pete Eyre, Joyce Brand, and many others. I Must Speak Out is for the newly initiated, the veteran voluntarist, or anywhere in between. Buy the book now at libertyunderattack.com/voluntarist. For more great content on building a voluntary society and for Carl's extensive archives, check out voluntarist.com.
Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 28th through July 4th for ForkFest 2021 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 28th through July 4th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can relax and enjoy the camaraderie of like-minded people, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with fellow ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Mark your calendar for June 28th through July 4th, 2021. We'll see you at forkfest.party. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Today's fitness trackers can tell how far you're running, but tomorrow's can tell you why you're running. The new Nike Run Logic Plus pinpoints the desperate psychological demons at the root of your exercise routine. Tech Trends reporter Aaron Vaughn has more.
It's a problem all runners face. You run and you run and you run, but it's never enough. No matter how many miles you put in, that gnawing ache at your soul never goes away. Now Nike's engineers have found a way for runners to use that existential pain to push themselves even farther. Users keep the device on their wrist at all times. It not only records running times and distances, it also analyzes all of the user's social interactions and emotional patterns. It then creates a unique, detailed profile that dredges the inspiring well of inner turmoil inside every runner. Early users say they notice a big impact on their workout.
I started marathoning when I was 28. I thought it was time to get in shape, but then once I realized I was actually running from my meaningless job in ad sales, I started running a lot more, like all the time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.